Hello people, CK here again with a little bit of a reactionary video today. I had a bit of a chance last night to read all all of the Ask Me Everything poll yesterday. And yeah, quite a lot of information. I had to write it down in notes, as you can imagine, and had to take a few pictures just because it was quite a lot of information, and I did have to handpick a few bits that was interesting to me. But yeah, if you're interested, I'd say go and check it out on the Brightest Shores Reddit, the official one. Have a little scroll down. I think it was like a few posts now, but I'm pretty sure if you scroll down long enough, you'll find it. First off, I wanted to talk about one thing, very quickly, is that I've been waiting to see if we'll get a mobile version, just because obviously I use the phone quite a lot. I like using phone, some games and that, the occasional pop it on. And yeah, there will be a version after the official launch out of early access. So yeah, we got that officially ticked off the box. And here's one for people who are in those higher levels. So you've got those super levels. You're wondering, what the hell do I even do with all this? There will be end game content. They are focusing, they're not focusing on that at the moment, but they will be there in the future. Including raids, which he did mention, specifically raids. So that's quite fun. I can't wait for the first raid. And here's one for just recent people who maybe all rushed all the skills or the quests and all these episodes. Episode 5 is, I'd probably say, a few months away by the sounds of it. They did say if they did focus on it today, it'd probably about 2 to 3 months, because they have got the area actually done on that. It's just really working on the professions, fine-tuning everything. It is going to be there soonish. I'd probably say roughly on that estimate, because they did say that they want to get player-to-player trading and PvP out before actually releasing that. So it should be, I think, considering they said 2 to 3 months that they focused on now, I'd probably say it's 3 to 5 months. That's it's not that their words, but it's just what I'm sort of inferring from this information. It's something. This might upset people, this might upset people. Might alleviate some issues. They are not planning on adding item notes into this game. So for people that have played RuneScape, if you're trading or selling stuff, adding it into an item just absolutely alleviates the big issue of filling up your items, your whole storage, and walking over to somebody or walking over a trade. I think in RuneScape 1 this was a big issue, because you couldn't put an item note, or you couldn't proper trade. You had to create multiple accounts to trade to people or to store up items and that, because I think it was only gold that stacked up, but even then it stacked up to 9,900 or something like that. So they're not planning on doing that, but they are allowing us to directly when it comes to player trading, you can trade from our banks, and apparently they're going to make an official marketplace. I don't know if this is going to be an area that we're currently in, or it's going to be a separate zone, or just added on top of one of the maps we do have. I don't really know. So obviously that's a big wonder. Where will this market be? Will it be in the current area? But yeah, it's going to be quite fun, interesting seeing that, because hopefully that really, sort of makes it more easier in actual function rather than theory. But let's see how it works before we cast too much of a harsh judgment on it. Now here's going to be pretty sad for people. The builder profession episode 5 isn't player housing, sadly enough. I was pretty hoping for it. I wasn't expecting we're going to get player housing so soon, so I'm not too surprised. It is pretty sad. They are thinking of player housing. They probably will be player housing one day, I would assume, and they probably didn't specifically turn it down. It's just more putting our sort of expectations down a little bit about builder profession. So obviously people be a bit sad. I'm a bit sad, tears out my eyes. I wanted a nice house, but we will probably get one sooner at some point. Okay, so someone questioned about the enchanting, will we be able to enchant or improve armor or weapons in a way? And they did answer that, they are planning multiple different buffs to the armor system. So ways of buffing weapons and armor. So hopefully we'll get to see how that works. Hopefully it's not super as expensive as enchanting. That'll be pretty sad. They also added in many more transmog systems, because obviously at the moment we've got the party house system where you can just put it on top of your helmet. So they will be adding a lot more ways of transmog. I don't know how that's going to work, whether it's some mad. One person sort of guessed maybe a magic potion and we looked like He-Man. I'm only joking. It wasn't exact those words, but I presume so. And the chat issue. So at the moment, when you go into an instance, you could be chatting to someone, or it could be quiet, it could be whatever it is. But the minute you move out of that zone, you could possibly not see that person again, which is quite upsetting. Especially if you have like a good conversation with people and it just suddenly dies like that because you need to go and like buy materials or grab materials, whatever it is. They are thinking of ways and wandering of ways to like improve that system or change it. So they are not like putting it down, but they're not like putting anything concrete to sort of change that. That doesn't specifically say that they won't be like adding a party system and stuff like that. We will get to that later on in this video. Oh yeah, and add on to that, because the question that they did get posed was this was the last one after it. But they are thinking of adding on co-op leveling, more co-op leveling methods. Because at the moment, obviously, we've got like wood cutting, where you can like, if you've got two swords, you can like saw with someone else. It isn't like the focus of the efforts at the moment, because obviously there's quite a lot of stuff to work on. But it is on their minds. So let's carry on. And I had to take a picture of this because it was quite a lot of stuff. Okay, this is one I wanted to read out for people because I don't feel like I could put it in enough words to describe what they're thinking. Combat, you know me, I don't like the combat in this game. It's painful. I know some people say they don't mind it. For me, it's awful. Like, it's one of the things that I just avoid at all costs. Like, it's the one negative to quests, to be honest. The fact that every quest requires you to be like a high level of combat to complete it is just really sad and annoying. So I wanted to read this out, so you can, pass your own judgments on it. And I'll pass mine. In terms of combat, we had a big long discussion yesterday about best to improve it. We know that a separate combat profession per episode isn't popular, and think we have come up with a way of avoiding needing a separate combat profession per episode and avoiding the problems I described, which caused us to implement it this way in the first place. And also how we can migrate existing save games without anyone losing progress. I don't want to go into too much detail yet as still designing it, but I am very excited about my new idea for how combat progression should work. It will be a fairly time-consuming update to produce, but it is a very high priority. We also want to make combat cater to more playstyles, so you can play it a bit more AFK if you want, or less AFK if you want, or just like it is currently if you want, depending on which monster you fight or which episode you're in, probably. So huge relief that is a high priority because it really needed to be. Like, combat is such a negative. I know people, as I was saying previously, people don't mind it. Some people, but it is like, just bringing in players, just keeping players, just keeping me actually, actually drawing me back like that, going, oh yeah, have a look at this combat. It is a high necessity, to be honest. I know there's lots of stuff that's a necessity at the moment, like PvP and player trading, but for me, combat is with PvP. You know what I mean? Like, it is a big part of PvP. I know some people just want to go and wreck people, but they really did need to improve it, and the fact that they're adding in this system where, because everyone saw the news the first 2 weeks, like, oh my, combat resets every episode, and it doesn't, you know what I mean? You're wrong and you're right. Because I was annoyed. I remember going into, on the first stream of the day, and going into like Hope Forest and like just calling it lame. All the armor changes, the weapon changes, like suddenly you can't use your episode 1 weapon, which I know they won't change that, but actually changing how it interacts with each other, that is interesting. And they also mentioned specifically like playstyles and things like that. So hopefully that sort of like helps people. I don't want to go into too much detail about my thoughts about it, but so far I'm quite happy with that news. I just feel like it's going to be really interesting. I can't wait to see this update, and obviously let us know what you think on the combat from that sort of thing. I don't know if it goes into further on, because I don't want to make this video too long, but so far it is quite interesting. Okay, so PvP is planned to be enjoyable at any combat level via league system. If you want to be in the top league, it will be endgame content for sure, but we plan to make it so you enjoy PvP and not lose all the time without having to get to level 500 first. Big boost. Okay. Next thing is they do talk about professions and making it a bit more interconnected, which they do plan to, they do the say themselves. They need more content. Like, they do need more content that like utilizes it. And I think the way they, from what I've gathered, this is an opinion, this isn't like fact. They do want to add more like systems in later episodes that like bring back professions from previous episodes. So whether that's like mini games, certain instances where you have like challenges or stuff like that, I believe that's the route they probably will go. From what I previously read, they do seem to not want to change the professions that much, really. It's just more like bringing them in connected through like mini games or new sort of instances of like content. Really just adding in that sort of like, oh, damn, I forgot to do this leveling. Or perhaps that really is pretty interesting. Let's go and do a bit more of that profession. And, really promoting that sort of like progressive growth for a lot of skills, and which I think it does anyway. If you look at the knowledge system, if you use your knowledge points up to like level 200 on skills, the actual increase in like XP you gain is quite a lot. And after 200, it sort of slows down to a halt. I really do believe they are promoting like, you got your main profession or two professions that you want, maybe bump up to 500. This is my opinion. Then at 200, getting like a flat, like equal of everything, it really just promote that. So yeah, it's nice that they are adding in ways or thinking of ways to sort of promote interjoining of multiple skills. So yeah, let's move on. Okay, here's one thing that they will be doing. If you're finding your hand is hurting from like hours, like I've got like a little cut on my hand from like streaming the other day, from just clicking, like so much clicking, they are like adding, they are thinking of ways to improve that and sort of reduce the clicking. I think the recent update they do want to add is like, like multiple clicks. Say like if you click on, 5 different trees to cut, it'll like add up and stack up. So then you can just release your hand and they're going to go run around and cut those trees, you know what I mean? So like, what do they call it? Like stacking actions. Yeah, it took a long time to get to that. So yeah, they are definitely adding more than that, probably thinking more of ways to improve that, which is quite good. Very good. And in a later post I did read, they are thinking about improving that middle ground of AFK. Because at the moment, I don't know if anyone else has experienced this. Well, to be fair, a lot of people have. There is like pure AFK when you go offline, and you just let it level for you. You do get small XP. Not that great. It'd probably be greater on when you get to like level 200 and use like a wealth potion. You make loads of money. That's good. But. He has, and also you got currently where you're just actively clicking everything like, oh my god, let me do this, and you're on your screen, your eyes are on it full time, which is, some people will be like, well, you're playing a game, you need to have your attention on it at all times for hours and hours. But if this is a game where you're constantly grinding, you know what I mean? You've got life. And yeah, I feel like for me, I need a middle ground, man. I mean, I'm speaking this as someone who streams it, so like this is differently to someone who's actually like playing it, like looking at it all the time. But even then, I think everybody needs like a middle ground to AFK. It shouldn't be like it should be options fair play, where you do want to look at it all the time. But there should be like a middle ground where you can just do a bit of AFK. Like the closest to it at the moment is probably like crime den raids, and a bit less than that would probably be like cooking. Like, there is really not that much middle ground when it comes to leveling. I mean, even combat, you have to, like, manually click stuff like there's that little pause where you wait for them to reset where they get aggressive again. Like, you need a middle ground to the AFK, which, I'm glad that is being sort of answered and that has been heard. And that is, like, instead of it being, like, a bit like, no, I don't want to do that, I don't like that. Well, you have these two things, but really, good on him, good on the team. Like, yeah, this probably does need to have like a middle ground. There is like a need for. They even put it in caps. Like you can tell that is something that they've heard from the community and they're like answering, which is great. Like just all these other things we read, like combat and the professions going in between. Like this is a team that is listening, and obviously big thank you for even just ask me anything anyway. Like these answers, like these just really relieve a lot of worries, really, because a lot of people are worrying about like the life cycle of this game if they, if some of these little features don't really get sort of tweaked a bit. So yeah, let's carry on. Okay, Yes. so spells. You know, people wondering where's that magic? Where is it? But yeah, at the moment, spells are like utility spells, but it does seem like they want to make magic tied to like weapons. So maybe like these special attacks and that. That seems what the route the magic's going to be in this game, which is a bit sad. I want to be a mage casting like crumble skeleton, but unfortunately, well, not fortunately or unfortunately, you know, it's not like a bad thing, but they do want to like tie it to weapons, so it will make combat a bit more interesting. So yeah, we'll see how that goes when they do add those changes. And also, quick one for people that want mounts or anything like that, like, you know, the World of Warcraft players. They won't be any mounts. They already said it, the game doesn't really support that, and the game's not been designed with them in mind, so yeah. Oh yeah, quickly. They are planning to add more, like, you know, you can use more potions on your little belt that you get given. So like those people, is it XP? Or like the Fear or Arabai potions, whatever they are, you will be able to like put them on your belt so you can use them. They are adding that in the future, so yeah, no worries about that. I think the last thing I want to mention, there is quite a lot more stuff, so as I say, if you want to read it. So yeah, the last thing I do want to add is there is a party system planned. So you know, they did want it for like launch, but it just couldn't be finished in time. But it will probably be like done. Considering they wanted it at launch, it does seem like that's a big feature that will be added soon enough. So like, luckily, you know, that is going to be added. You know, so you can talk to all you fine people. Well, I can, you know, and everyone else can, you know. So that's great. So the reaction to this, I think this is all great answers. To be honest, there were some people like doing doom and gloom on Reddit, like maybe the 1 or 2 posts. Like some people like fuming about what PvP was going to be like, even though there's, you know, there's not really a super amount of detail to it. You know, what PvP was going to be like. You know, a lot of people are just comparing it to like RuneScape, which I feel like people are still doing it. They're like, oh my god, it's going to be like a RuneScape. But yeah, you know what I mean? Stop treating this like RuneScape. It is slightly different, like any other MMO would be like, because at the end of the day, RuneScape is RuneScape. There's nothing like RuneScape. You mean, it's like the old saying, you don't quit RuneScape, you just take a break. Even me, I'm still on my break from it. But when I hear Leagues was back, I was like, oh my god, I must have it. Give it to me now. But obviously, I didn't bite the bullet. Too many games on. But I'm just so appreciative. I want to say a big thank you to like the developers and that, and Andrew, like answering these questions and that people had, and also thanks for the people that added those questions. Like I didn't really ask any questions because I'm a bit shy, but all the questions were great, all the answers were great. It is quite good just to really get that feedback and to really know that the game's in a healthy place. Like I'm so confident in this game even more now after that. It does seem like this team has got like such a great vision for the game. And the future is bright. And I think to answer people's worries that this game might die at some point, the way they're designing the game, they are just really planning on, you know, designing this game so even if the player base does drop down a bit, not going to leave this game, that they're going to work on it, they're going to improve on it. So even if this game, you know, player base goes down a bit, just give it a year and it'll be an even better game. Give it 2 years, the game will be better. Like, it does seem like they really want that progressive improvement. So, like, what this game will be like in 3 years, it's going to be really lovely to see. So, yeah, I think people that are really looking for a game to put their mind on for a bit, chill out, relax, I believe this is it. And, yeah, it's so nice to see a lot of worries just taken out of it. Combat, as I said again, huge worry lifted. Player trading, I think that's going to be interesting. I'm going to be a bit nervous for me. I'm quite a bit shy person. So I'm going to be like, oh no. Oh, how do I buy this? There might be like guilds though. You never know. Like there might be like a guild system like they did. I'm bringing RuneScape again, even said not to compare it. But like, you know, like a mining guild, like who are like organizing all the sales or something like that to another thing. To like blacksmithers and that. But yeah. It's just so glad. Oh yeah, for people, I'm sorry if I rambled this one. But it is what it is. The excitement. The excitement. And yeah, as again, if you want to read it, you want to read it yourself, get all even more information that I've put, because there is a lot more stuff on there that they go through in a lot more detail, a lot more minor stuff and a lot more bigger stuff, I'd probably say. But these were just like big things that I was thinking, oh yes, this is important. Go look it up. Reddit, best place to do it. Well, not the best place to do it. But, you know, the best place to find that post so you can read it all. So, yeah, people, hope you have a nice day. Hope you have a great week. Don't forget to subscribe to stay detailed of all the stuff CK'd. And, yeah, bye.